Welcome to At the Table,
where we are connecting entrepreneurs, discovering missions, and building communities with purpose, body, soul, mind, and business with
Charlie
and Heather with Free Time Solutions.
Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome to the table. I am Charlie.
And I am Heather.
And
it's Monday again.
Yeah.
And it's an exciting Monday because we're in transition here.
A little bit. So you guys might know, we've mentioned it to you that we are not going to be reading the chapters on our YouTube channel anymore, but we are transitioning between books because last week we finished Career Self-Care by Minda Zetland.
Super amazing.
Super amazing.
Thank you.
We have this week's chapter and then 2 more chapters left in The Voice of Knowledge. So we are going to be changing that book up here soon. And we started this week, we read the preface and the introduction for Love People and Use Things. So that's what we're going to talk about today, along with chapter 10 of The Voice of Knowledge by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Boom. So if you don't know, we do love to come together each week and talk about all things having to do with mindset and business and showing up the best humans that we can be so that we can have a better community.
And the best way to do that is by sharing our personal growth journey with you.
And I love
having conversations.
In this book, there's a chart and it's perfect.
Which book, Heather?
In the new book, The Love People Use Things, there's a little thing about we remember 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear, 70% of what we discuss with others, 80% of what we personally experience, and 95% of what we teach others. And you're such a natural teacher, Charlie. So thank you so much. And it's so true. I know that with my issues with my brain injuries in the past, that I didn't really fully grasp like sounding out words until I was teaching it to my stepson Timothy. Breaking it down for him in a way for him to understand helped me understand it. So like it made a difference. Like didn't mean I was stupid, right? No. These were limitations because of my brain and the way my brain functions after a brain injury. So, and like I think that goes really well with what we're talking about in the voice of knowledge is learning to love ourselves. Isn't that what
this chapter 10 is about writing our story with love.
Yes.
And life as an ongoing romance.
I love that. I love that. I thought one of the ongoing romance part of that, what I thought of was that day that I came in and I'm like, I cried because I was singing the love song on the radio to myself. Right? Like really honoring your story and your journey.
And loving yourself.
And when you do that, it changes the conversation you're having with yourself.
And it also changes the conversation you're having with other people. Because when you love yourself, it that's when your cup remains full and you're able to pour from the overflow. Right? So what does that mean? So to live in love is to be alive again. It is to return to your integrity, to what you were before knowledge. When you recover your integrity, you always follow love. You live your life as an eternal romance because when you love yourself, it's easy to love everybody else.
Romance yourself. I like that. Like
you don't need a Romeo.
You can buy myself flowers.
When I think about this, I think about what it's like to watch a child play. Mhm.
Yeah.
Before knowledge takes hold of them, right? We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Watching a child play and they run and they're full of joy and
They're exploring things, they're trying things, they're happy.
yeah,
They're like an expression of joy.
right. They're an expression of joy. And just watching them interact with bugs, flowers, the rocks,
The grass, even the
like
grass.
yeah, they are interacting with these things with love. I have, unless a child has experienced like a bee sting or something like that, I have not ever seen a child like try to swat a bug or cry and run away. They're curious about it.
Right.
They want to watch the bug, the bee on the flowers, or they want to pet the slug, or play with the
rocks
roly-poly
are going
bug.
in the mouth and
Yeah, but even when they react with other people, like I've seen kids walk up and like hug dogs. Right, or they just want to pet the dog, or
they're curious.
they're curious,
They want to touch it, see it, feel it, experience.
but from a place of love, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I think of when I think of this. It's like to experience the world with that kind of joy, childlike joy.
Yes.
Again,
we talked about when we were working with Sandy about that image of a young child of us and actually finding a photo. And I was really excited the other weekend. I found a whole bunch of photos I'd never seen before of myself as a child. It was just like, oh, look at all of that smile and doing that. Yeah, that was really exciting.
So to see yourself before the labels took hold.
Yes.
What?
And to connect to her inside. Still me. It's an interesting feeling.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So what are our points to ponder this week? Let's talk about those. And then we will talk about love people use things. If I could get to the end of the chapter without my paper sticking together. Here we go. Okay. The best way to write your story is with love. Love is the material that comes directly from your integrity, from what you really are. So that's like that truth that we talk about. What's true for you? That's your integrity. That's the love. Feel that for a second. When you introduce the agreement of self-respect, many self-judgments end there. And most of the self-rejection ends there too. When you can allow the voice to talk, but the dialogue is much better. You find yourself smiling and having fun even when you are just by yourself. This has been the coolest part of the practice.
Yes. Is being that alone time and really actually enjoying the time with ourselves, right? I know it's definitely shifted my I live alone,
Right.
with just a child, so I actually have more advanced time alone probably than you do. Not probably, but no, sorry.
I look at this as more like those self-judgment pieces. When we ask the questions to ourselves, am I being impeccable with my word? Am I doing my best? Am I making assumptions? All those things. Like my inner dialogue has shifted from being so judgy. Like my old inner voice was a royal bitch. And my new inner voice is much sweeter.
more empowering,
kinder, more compassionate, sympathetic even, right?
I'm finding myself giving myself grace without having to remind myself to give myself grace.
Yeah,
And that feels really good.
that does feel good. Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I didn't beat myself up over that.
No.
Because then all of a sudden there's this absence of this, right? And that itty bitty shitty committee is always going to be in our heads.
Uh-huh.
We all have them.
But you can change the dialogue.
You can change the dialogue and you can acknowledge their different voices, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're being judgy. Like, oh, you're just being shitty. No,
No, I'm not
no.
gonna do that. So the third point to ponder, which I think is really great. When you enjoy the presence of yourself, you love yourself, not because of the way you are, but because of what you are. The more you love yourself, the more you enjoy your life, and the more you enjoy the presence of everyone around you.
Yes. Because when you're already irritated, like with yourself, and then someone next to you, sitting next to you, clicking something or just breathing, you're like, would you breathe somewhere else? Like you're just already irritated, right? We can all relate to that. So it's really amazing that when you're filling your own cup with that self-love and you're serving from the overflow, you're like all protected and you get to be from love, even for you. Ooh, I'm gonna
cry. Every activity of your life can become a ritual of love: eating, walking, talking, working, playing. When everything becomes a ritual of love, you are no longer thinking, you are feeling. Just to be alive makes you intensely happy.
Really being in the moment and feeling like the miracle that your body is upright and you're awake and you're here. So beautiful.
This explains why, to me, this simply explains why moving your body is important. It's because you love yourself. Why eating healthy is important, because you love yourself. Why, talking with other people is important because you love yourself. The work you do because you love yourself. The play you do because you love yourself, right? It's a whole thing, right?
You get to do these things because you love yourself.
Yes.
You get to do these things. And the story you're telling yourself is beautiful. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about this new book. You ready to transition?
Yeah, there's 2 more points to ponder. Grab yourself a copy of this book, you guys, because it's been a really good one. I don't want to cry anymore right now, though, so we're gonna. Okay,
I don't know that this is gonna make us cry less.
True, but I feel like this is really important.
No, this I'm really excited about this, especially after reading the intro and the intro. The preface.
They have a preface and an introduction.
Right. That's
so we read both the preface and the introduction before this, and this love people use things because the opposite never works. It's written by the Minimalists, if you've heard of them. They have a YouTube channel, so, and other interviews and stuff on YouTube you should check out if you're curious. But their names are Joshua Fields Milbourne and Ryan Nicodemus.
And I love that it starts with, I believe it's Joshua. His mom passed away. And I've heard this story before.
Yep, his mom passed away and his marriage ended in the same month.
Oh shit. Yeah. Shit hit the fan.
Right. And he grew up really poor, but he was doing he worked himself up in corporate and basically was able to provide himself with everything he thought he wanted in life, and it all came crashing down.
Right.
So
The story we tell ourselves.
the story we tell ourselves.
So
when I have more money, when I have this, when I have that, and then things,
I'll be happy when.
Right?
Mm-mm.
And things pile up, or you hold on to things because it reminds you of something, or
you feel like you should hold on to it.
Ooh, the should.
Right. I feel like that's where this goes.
Yeah. Like
this we feel like we should hold on to this.
So and so gave it to me.
This might be the last slip of paper I ever received from you. Right. Like, just holding on to the things. And then he's at his mom's and he's going through her stuff. And
he had a shipping container and a U-Haul truck.
He's like ready to store all this stuff up. And he finds a box not just one box.
4 boxes.
Under his mom's bed, completely taped up. Like they couldn't have been looked at like in years.
Right. Covered in dust.
So he's like, what on earth could be in these boxes, right? And he opens them and they're like his school papers.
His childhood memories.
Yeah.
Stuff that his mom held on to.
And it was at that moment, I underlined it. That was the first time he realized our memories are not our things. Our memories are inside us. And that's so powerful. Because it's not the thing.
It's not the thing. It's not about the stuff.
It's not about the stuff. And that was able to see that he was going to do the same thing his mom did. By holding on to everything, tucking it away,
putting it in
storage. And
he was just putting all the stuff in a bigger box.
That's when he learned about what value is.
Right.
So if something isn't adding value to your life, it could add value to someone else's.
Right. So he canceled the storage, he canceled the U-Haul truck, and spent 12 days selling and getting rid of everything.
All of it
stuff. Minus like 5 things that he wanted to keep.
Right.
Right.
And like things that he could use and have out. Like I'm like, that's so brilliant, because then the memory is alive, right? Then it's bringing joy. It's all the things, all the pieces that we talk about, right?
Yeah.
And then
after that, he had to go home to his big house
with
several cars and a full closet.
Ultimate storage center downstairs, every bin, everything organized in the basement.
Yeah, he calls himself a well-organized hoarder. His closet was neat and everything was hung just so and spaced and all the things, right?
But he had an excess of the things.
He had too much. He's like, his entertainment room was like a Circuit City, and he's like, I couldn't even turn the volume up all the way or the police will be called.
So he asked himself the question, how might my life be better with less? So he spent 8 months just figuring that out.
Right. As he says, as I let go and as I started facing life's tougher questions, my life became simpler. Soon my coworkers noticed something was different too. You seem less stressed. You seem so much calmer. What's going on with you? You seem so much nicer. What I found really interesting back in the beginning of the preface, they talked about how owning stuff, like you buy a coffee cup. What does the coffee cup actually mean, right? When you buy a coffee cup, it's $10, okay? You spend $10 on this coffee cup. Is the cost only $10? No, because now you have to store the coffee cup, wash the coffee cup, take care of the coffee cup, use the coffee cup, repeat, rinse, repeat, forever and ever until maybe the coffee cup breaks or you have 50 coffee cups, so you get rid of a few and it goes away.
So
So how much time and energy did that, is this thing taking of
and
you?
spaces
And
and
space.
taking up in your life.
Space and energy, right? Because if you have stuff, you have to maintain and take care of and do all that stuff. Like, honestly, some days I feel like my house is definitely too big.
Some days.
Some days.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot. It's a lot to take care of, and it's a lot to maintain, and it takes time and energy and things that I would rather use on working on relationships
Right.
than just maintaining my stuff.
Right. And I like that because we've been working on decluttering for a while. This is like an ongoing thing.
Mhm.
I really liked when Amanda taught us that we wasted the money when we bought the item, not when we got rid of the item.
Mhm.
Because sometimes that's a holdback, right? Like
Mhm.
you're holding, that's a money trauma issue. Like
Mhm.
I recommend digging into that if
Mhm.
if that speaks to you. And then where am I going with that? And then, so what he did was he basically met with his friend who was having a hard time,
Ryan Nicodemus.
and they were besties, and he's like, hey, I see what you're doing. And it tells us about Ryan's life too. And Ryan's like, I'm in. And he's like, I wasn't looking to sell minimalism to anybody, but okay, what do you mean you're in? And so it was like, what is the next step for somebody? So they thought about when do you have to face all your stuff? Like in your life.
There comes a point where you have to like face your stuff.
What do you have? And that's usually moving. Or your family has to do it afterwards, right? So if you so they decided to pretend that he was moving because he didn't want it to take 8 months for him to go through all of his things the way that Ryan did or Joshua did. So so they spent a day and put all of his belongings in boxes in his house. I was like, this is interesting. And so then he basically, after a little bit, found that he was only using about 20% of the things he had. And I thought it was interesting that the 80-20 rule came up.
Oh, you're only using, yeah.
And I was like,
I found it really interesting what they said earlier about the consumption of Americans and how American children might have like 200 toys, but they only ever play with 12 at a time. 200 toys and they play with 12. Like, I totally understand that because when my kids were little, Gabriel had like a dozen of his Thomas the Tank Engine trains and he didn't play with anything else.
Yeah.
And it's not just because he's autistic, but also
like to find out that that's like a normal thing, that they only play with a few things, right?
Yeah.
Like that's nice for us, the training moms.
Right. But what they're finding is that Americans are struggling with the feeling of being bored.
Oh,
right. And
that makes sense.
Yeah. They don't know what to do with downtime. They literally don't know what to do with downtime.
Well, we have everything in front of us to keep us stimulated.
Yeah.
So if we're not taking the downtime, taking time to learn to meditate, taking time to
turn off your phone even.
right.
Just
right.
for a little bit. So anyway, so
I liked this here too. Getting rid of the excess didn't change his life. It created space for changes that would happen in weeks and months that followed. So like it created space for the future you.
Yeah. Getting rid of stuff, letting go. You are literally letting go of things that are no longer serving you. You're letting go of the expectations attached to it. You're letting go of the emotions attached to it. You're letting go of all that negative energy attached to it. But you are still
no longer serve you, right?
things that no
We
longer
talk a lot
serve you.
about that
Uh-huh.
in like our thoughts, but like this is in the physical too. Like
Mhm.
it's both, right?
Mhm.
And focusing on this is making room for more.
Making room for more.
And that's what minimalism is, making room for more. And that's what we're going to talk about over the rest of, I'm assuming I hope this takes us the rest of the year.
I think it gets us pretty close to the end of the year.
Yeah. So we're going to start with relationship stuff. So the things aren't the problem. The problem is the consumption without purpose.
Right.
So
overconsumption.
Because we're not being mindful in that moment when we consume, that leads to the over consumption. Yeah. In anything.
Yeah.
Oof.
I think that's one of the reasons why I love getting rid of stuff.
I know we've been on a lot of these processes, and like even now I like open drawers and there's like a half a drawer, you know, like, and I could like combine a few things into like, I'm like,
when you used to have overflowing drawers that you had no room for anything in.
Right.
High five.
Right? Like it's a shift. It's interesting.
It's a shift.
Making room for more, more in future.
And as I read this, I think I'm going to get a copy of this for Christmas from my mom, because I think about the older generation and the things that they have held on to. My mom, her mom died when she was a teenager, and her dad was in the military, and she was not ever well off, right? And her parents, you know, grew up in the Great Depression.
Right. Like when we had literally nothing and you saved everything and you used it and used it and used it, used it. Right.
So that's how she grew up. So then that's kind of how she still is. So she has things in her house, like she's got extra sheets, extra blankets, extra everything.
When you were reading about his house with like the mom's house, like
this,
with all of the sheets and the excessive sheets, it's just her. How many sheets does she need?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And she doesn't know this, but when she goes out of town, my little sister goes over and gets rid of things for her.
Dirt and early.
Because we know that at some point we're going to be the kids looking at this house full of stuff that we don't want.
We'll want 5 things.
Maybe.
So, right, like
I would like her to start working on it before that happens, right?
It would be such a great gift for her to leave. Less stuff.
Less baggage.
More memories.
Yeah, because some memories are here. They're here.
Yeah.
You know, they're in your heart, they're in your mind. You're not gonna, like, the ones that are important to you will always be part of you.
I'm interested to see how we're gonna loop this into business too. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun, right?
I am thinking of cleaning up files.
Right. Like
what is serving me in my digital file world? You know,
does 20 clicks to get to something? Is that worth it?
Right.
Like how can
we streamline
it?
All the things. So just think about decluttering your mental space, your physical space, and your digital space this week, to
make room for more
abundance,
muchness,
yeah,
in your future,
and not in the realm of this stuff, right? Right.
So possibilities are endless.
The possibilities. Thank
Wow.
you guys for joining us this week.
If you don't have your tickets to Black Cat Ball, you should check that out. Our
Mhm.
cause of the quarter Black Cat Ball is coming up.
It's sure to be so fun and so beneficial to the cats of Perfect Pals.
And the people that run it.
And even if you can't go, you can still donate. So
Absolutely. Or if you have something you would like to put in a gift basket, they are still taking donations.
mhm.
All right.
All right. Thank you
We
so
love
much.
you.
We love you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
As entrepreneurs, we have a unique opportunity to make a positive impact in the world around us. In a time when the world is shifting towards supporting local businesses and embracing community-driven initiatives, it becomes even more important for us to give where our heart leads us. At the table, we believe in the power of giving back, and that's why we have our cause of the quarter. This quarter, we are proud to support Perfect Pals, a local organization dedicated to rescuing and providing care for stray cats in our community. By supporting local causes like Perfect Pals, we not only make a difference in the lives of those in need, but we also contribute to the growth and well-being of our local community. We believe in small acts of kindness, and they can create a ripple effect of positivity, inspiring others to do the same. As we shift our focus solely from supporting large corporations to championing local businesses and giving back, we not only strengthen our community, but we also foster a sense of connection and unity. Together, we can create a thriving ecosystem where everyone can flourish. So let's follow our hearts and give where it truly matters. Join in supporting Perfect Pals and making a difference in the lives of these furry companions. Together we can make our community a better place, one act of kindness at a time. Thank you for being part of our journey and for embracing the spirit of giving. Together, let's create a brighter future for all. Are you tired of juggling endless tasks, struggling to find time for what truly matters? We have the solution for you. Introducing Free Time Solutions, your ultimate partner in reclaiming your time and maximizing your potential. At Free Time Solutions, we specialize in helping businesses like yours thrive in a digital world. From social media management to website optimization and branding, we have the expertise to elevate your online presence and streamline your operations. Imagine having time to focus on what you love to do while we take care of your business. With our dedicated team of experts and innovative solutions, we leave you free to pursue your passions and achieve your goals. Whether you are a small business owner, entrepreneur, freelancer, we offer comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal is simple: to give you back time, freedom to do what you do best while we handle the rest. So join us at the table and let Free Time Solution empower you to take control of your time and unlock your full potential. Visit our website at www.yourfreetimeback.com. That's www.yourfreetimeback.com to learn more and schedule your consultation today. Free Time Solutions, your partner in success. Let's make the most of your free time together. Thank you for joining us at the table. Stay tuned for weekly readings on Sunday, Mindset Monday, discussing our weekly readings on Monday, and on Friday, our interview and potentially guest hosts. Stay tuned.
Thank you for joining in on the fun. Be sure to like and subscribe for more.